I was really happy that Digitalscouting was a media partner of this year's DIA in Munich and that we had a lot of talks and looks behind the scenes. So again, thank you very much Roger and Reggie for the awesome invite and the great collaboration. But now let's talk about the 5 things I learned about this year's DIA. So I listened to this. I'm scouting digital and tech trends around the world in order to bring it to you, and I've helped numerous companies to set up ecosystems of digital products and services and to increase their reach with attention hacking. The first thing I learned is that a lot of people are talking about the ecosystem. So right now we don't have the debate anymore about that one player is going to rule us all, but actually it's a lot of our talk about collaboration between insurtechs and incumbents and tech companies and reinsurers. I really think it's funny that there's a lot of talk about the collaboration between different categories of companies, but actually the collaboration between companies we have not heard so far. The second thing I learned is the conference was quite international, and I heard a lot of traditional players actually say that they think that digital transformation and the insurtech waves that are coming to the shores of Insurance Island foster an internationalization. And there were several people saying, well, I think the times of conferences where you only speak German will be over soon. The third thing I think we should talk about is Ping An. We had Jonathan there sharing his story, sharing the story of Ping An, which due to the only size of the company was already very impressive. Nevertheless, what impressed me most was the strategic farsightedness of the company, of not talking about ecosystems of digital products and services and companies, but actually setting them up and pouring millions and millions of people in there. So I think Ping An should be and could be a role model for players also in Europe to not only talk about these topics, but actually do it, because Ping An shows that it is actually possible. The fourth thing we saw at the DIA this year was that there was a lot of talk behind the scenes that insurtech companies actually should become a little bit more bold in not only tackling parts of the value chain or improving certain processes and customer-facing issues, but actually also should improve the insurance products. And behind the scenes there was already a lot of brainstorming about certain concepts, and I think in the next 24 months we will see some exciting new insurance products entering the market. The fifth thing I learned was why is the DIA such a special place? First of all, of course, because of the 2 organizers, Roger and Reggie. Shout out to you guys, thank you for letting us be there. But nevertheless, also it was very special because a lot of details were right and a lot of effort went into the details of the conference. A lot of introductions on a personal level were made possible. It's actually a place where a lot of high-level decision makers are approachable, and that is what made the conference for me so interesting. I traveled all the way from the beautiful but rainy city of Hamburg to the beautiful and mostly sunny city of Munich. It was a really fun trip there. Munich is a beautiful city in the center. Don't miss out on the great food and of course the best beer of the world. Call Munich and Bavaria their home. Should I have said this on camera? Well, of course, North Germany also has great beers to drink, even when they're a little bit bitter, but nevertheless. So this year's conference had a Batman topic and a superstar theme. I thought it was really cool, so Robin just fit right in there. One great aspect of the DIA, of course, is the networking. You have a lot of top decision makers there, innovators from insurance companies, later stage insurtech startup, a lot of service providers are there with their teams, and I think the networking aspect is really cool. Of course, you had also a networking app in which you could make dates and meetings, and you could approach people, but you could also just write people on LinkedIn or just bump into them at the coffee machines. The DIA is a large event, don't get me wrong, but the location was so great so that you bumped into each other several times. That gives you the opportunity to network also a little bit more. You had cafe, you had drinks, you had juices everywhere, and food, and so you had a lot of breaks also in between, which made networking possible, and that was really, really great of this conference. I was also very happy to attend the exec dinner, which took place in the residence of Bavaria. Normally only the state people and the state guests are there, and of course us from the DIA conference. It seems that the city of Munich is in a little bit of love with us and the insurance industry, and the dinner was great, and there was great people there and a great bunch, a lot of awesome conversations, so that was really cool.
Hey guys, it would help us a lot if you could hit the subscribe button down there and to make us also grow here on YouTube. Thank you very much.